Hello YouTube, it's Ty376 and welcome back to yet another edition of Stories from the Friendzone. It's the segment where we go to the Friendzone subreddit, of which I am now a moderator. So I get to see all of the, bits and bobs and knickknacks behind the scenes, all of the deleted bullshit, and generally just continue to not do anything to police the subreddit. Everything's fine as long as there are no memes and nothing ridiculous. Got quite a queue built up for today. We're gonna solve some people's problems. The first one that we're gonna handle is actually an update from a post that was made, I guess, a month ago or something like that. You can catch that one in episode number 17, I believe. But we're gonna start with that one. We got some other small ones, we got some other big ones. So the first one, like I was talking about, it was a dude who I guess had a crush on some chick, and he became really good friends with her family, like the brother and her sister. And I guess the crush was getting lame, or was starting to date other people or something like that. So he was wondering if he should cut her off while still hanging out with the siblings. Something like that. Update. From crush to best F22 friend for 2 years, I, M22, am thinking of ending the relationship. Am I wrong for doing this? 1 week later, after I posted my story here, I decided to text Amanda again. I felt this was necessary because I have a great relationship with her siblings and I feel sort of horrible for not talking to her or hanging out with her. After I texted her, she responded back and we had a great conversation. We texted a lot about stuff and we made plans to see each other again. We talked about a lot of stuff and we made plans to see each other again. We decided to meet 2 days later, after I texted her, and she seemed excited to see me again. The plan was for me to pick her up in the morning, have some lunch, and then drop her to work. The day before our reunion, we texted a lot. She was hanging out with her best female friend, and even she was happy that Amanda and I was meeting up. When the reunion day came, I drove to her home. I was a bit tired since my neighbors were making loud noises during the night, but I had to admit I was excited to see her again. When I arrived to her home, I called her. She did not answer. I decided to call again, but she did not answer. I decided to ring the doorbell, but nobody was answering. I thought it was odd, so I looked at her WhatsApp, and it showed me she was online 1 hour ago. Amanda was not answering her phone. I decided to wait an additional 10 minutes before leaving. 10 minutes passed by and I left. I thought to myself, maybe she overslept. I did not really care, but I was annoyed because I was tired. Before I exit out of her neighborhood, I saw her brother entering the neighborhood. We said hello and I left. I decided to text her brother. I asked him if Amanda was home. He told me she left early in the morning with her best friend. He was curious about why I was at his neighborhood earlier, but I explained to him about the plan. After I went back home, I fell asleep. 5 hours later, I saw my phone had a lot of unread messages from Amanda. She kept texting me that she was sorry. As I was reading the text, one particular text caught my attention. She wrote down that she was sorry for not answering her phone because she overslept. But her brother told me something else. It is weird, but knowing Amanda for a long time, I actually believe her brother. She used this trick before on someone else, so there is a huge chance she is lying. After this situation happened, she kept texting how sorry she is and etc. We texted a couple more times, and she even asked if I was available on certain days, but I told her I am busy. We are texting less each day, and I can say our friendship is over. At least I tried to remain friends with her, but honestly, I do not want to waste my time on her anymore. I just felt sorry for not being friends with her while being friends with her siblings. I wasted my time to meet up with her, but I am happy too because I don't have to spend my time with her anymore. Summary. I decided to text Amanda and we made plans to see each other. When I went to her home to pick her up, she did not answer the door or her phone. Her brother said she left home earlier with her best friend, while Amanda texted me later she overslept. I did not believe Amanda, and I don't want to waste my time on her anymore. Our friendship is officially over. Well, congratulations, I guess. It sounded like you woke up in like the middle, like crack of dawn in the fucking morning, because you ended up going home and then falling back asleep. By the way, why did you not knock on her door first? Well, I guess that makes sense. I mean, it's way more convenient to call someone nowadays, but why didn't you bring it up to the brother as you saw him coming through? You didn't say hi or anything like that? I guess you might have been in cars and driving and stuff like that, so it might have been a little weird, but yeah, I mean, you know, some people are shitty, and again, you know, like I've said before, it's like, you know, she knows that you're gonna be around. It's like, she can say sorry 10 times, and you'll still be like, you might still be like, do you want to hang out again, blah, blah, blah. So, she doesn't really value the friendship, you can tell, because she's willing, you know, to, I don't want to say risk something like this, but she's willing to just kind of throw it out in the air and just like, well, if it happens, then it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And she like makes plans with you, and to her, it doesn't matter whether it happens or not. It's just like, she'll just say sorry, she'll lie a little bit, and then maybe you'll be there again. So who cares? Is this a satire sub? Or do you people really think the friend zone is a thing? The friend zone is not the friend zone is not a literal place. It is something that happens when, you know, the person who has feelings for the other person can't do one of two things. They can't go up to them and tell them about their feelings and kind of just get it over with and try to make something happen. Basically, they have the inability to make a move initially, or they have an inability to recognize rejection and to act on it. So say that they do end up spilling the beans, and the person that they have a crush on says, no, we're better off as friends, blah, blah, blah. And that person then goes on to be, oh, yeah, well, I guess it is okay to just be friends. Maybe she'll fall in love with me later, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, the term friend zone has really gotten popular probably over the last 5 years for whatever reason. Probably just because it's fucking hilarious. And there are even like movies with adults in them talking about the friend zone like it's an actual thing. So I mean, it's a thing in that, you know, it exists, like there's a word for it. It is something that when people hear it, they recognize it as, oh, it's that ridiculous fucking thing that teenagers talk about. But as far as like whether or not the friend zone is legitimate, like a legitimate like relationship status, I mean, that's just, no, come on, guys, you know, get out of it, snap out of this shit. And by the way, no, this is not a satire sub. This is an actual place that teenagers and curious people like myself stumble upon, sometimes looking for a little laugh, a little bit of hilarity in the world. That's me. And then you have the random, you know, kids that wonder if the friend zone subreddit is actually a thing. And apparently, yes, it is. But what happens when we really are friends? I am so stuck in the friend zone here, and I don't know what to do. Ben and I saw each other for a few months, beginning about a year ago. We both really liked each other, but things ultimately fell apart because we are both astoundingly bad at communicating with the other. We ended with a series of strange, meaningless arguments that seemed to be about something, but I don't know that either of us knew quite what they were about. Anyway, fast forward to now. Ben has an actual girlfriend, and I never got over him. To him, I'm someone he dated briefly and then became friends with. Whenever he's stressed about something or needs to talk, or if something great happens, I'm the one he comes to. Half of me is happy. I genuinely care about Ben, and I'm glad I get to keep him in my life. I love that he values me enough to want to share things with me. The other half of me, however, is absolutely miserable. Recently, his girlfriend has been having problems, so naturally he comes to me to vent about them. I have to stand there and listen to him, working so hard to keep my face straight while inside I'm completely falling apart. I care about him so much, and I hate to hear when he's unhappy. The only thing that got me through losing him was knowing that he was happy with someone else. I know that the key to escaping the friend zone is to end the friendship, but what do I do if the friendship actually matters to me? The real question is, what do I do every time I get a question that sounds exactly like this, where, but I really do value the friendship. I really don't want to lose him or her as a person. I really do love them for just their personality. You know, what the fuck do I say? I mean, think about it this way. This person only keeps you around just as someone to soak up their emotions, so they can just like come to you and just like dump all of their bullshit onto you. It's like you're a phone operator at a call center for people who need to talk about their shitty relationship. I mean, that's kind of my job too, but I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, if he's just talking to you every time that something good happens, or something bad happens, or something sad happens, or something lame happens, or he just wants to talk, like, why can't he do that with his girlfriend? Why does it gotta be you? Why do you gotta be wasting your time feeling what this guy's feeling, basically changing your emotions every time that this guy comes to you with his emotions? Like, that's not any fun. You don't even get any benefit out of that. The benefit is what? He gets to call you next time and complain about his girlfriend when she fucks up. I'm gonna give you the general advice that I should be giving most guys anyways, but I don't, because it's really cliche and then people don't listen. But the part that sticks out to me in your post is the part where you say, I love that he values me enough to want to share things with me. This honestly to me feels like that you don't have enough of that. That you don't have enough friends that value you enough to want you to share things with them. You gotta find those people. You gotta go out and look for people that are along your wavelength and like to share the same things that you do, and talk about the same things that you do and that kind of thing. You can't just be a person that is there to have stuff shared with them. You know what I mean? To have their emotions just to be dumped on you. You gotta be able to share that with other people who can also do that with you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Also, do you even value yourself enough to break away from this, friendship / relationship for even just a minute to go do what I was just talking about? And plus, apparently you guys dated for a little bit. You should definitely distance yourself from this person. You are putting yourselves in the friend zone. This is what people are talking about when they post things like, is this a satire sub? Do you guys really believe that the friend zone is real? Is because they see posts like this, and this person thinks that the friend zone, I'm not going to say that, but the only way that the friend zone can exist is if you put yourself in that situation. This guy, Ben, knows that he can call you up anytime and talk shit about his girlfriend. So he's going to. And probably because he doesn't have he certainly doesn't have any other girl friends that he can do this with. But he doesn't have any guy friends that he can do this with. Or all of his guy friends tell him to shut the fuck up every time he starts, spewing his emotions about girlfriends. Don't be that emotional sponge. What to do? I honestly don't know how to approach this at the moment, and I need some advice, but I really needed to let this out. So I guess I'll start by saying that I'm going into post-secondary, so you know my age. This will probably sound stupid, but oh well, it means something for us youngsters, right now at least. Since the start of high school, I've had a crush on this girl, and near the end of the first year, we sort of had a thing. This continued on through the next year as well, and honestly, this might have been the peak of our feelings. Then near the end of the third year, I was sort of caught off guard, but she somewhat ended our thing abruptly. We continued to talk for about a month, but it sort of just stopped there. I won't lie, my pride was hurt, so I am partly to blame for that. The following year, needless to say, I was butthurt, and honestly, I didn't talk to her. It was very awkward, honestly. During that year, however, she did change, and the bubbly personality she had was now covered with such a mature and independent attitude. This year, however, since it was my last at the school, I decided to gun for her because I thought that, honestly, the reason why we didn't get together in the first place was because I didn't seal the deal or establish a relationship. So with this in mind, I went full charge for her, doing practically anything I can, and honestly, I believe that it worked. Like I was actually breaking down her artificial walls of independence because deep down I knew that her old self was there wanting to burst out. Well, I finally did it and confessed, but alas, after all my efforts, she apparently sees me as a brother, and now I'm in the same predicament as before, in an awkward state. It's been about a little less than a week, but I haven't really had our daily talks through text like we used to. All our mutual friends and her close girlfriends shipped us hard, but as she pointed out, I guess this just made it worse. We won't be going to the same school next year, and honestly, however, the confession felt like a last-ditch effort that didn't pay off. I don't know what to do, and I'm confused about my emotions. On the exterior, no doubt I'm salty about her, but honestly, deep down, I think I still have attachment to her. I'm goddamn honestly. He's the most honest person that you've ever known, you guys. Do you fucking understand? I'm honestly confused, and I don't know if I should keep trying or just call it quits. I don't want to annoy her, and honestly, I don't know if I can or cannot handle being friends with her because I may get hurt. Fellow friendzonees, some advice. Well, I don't understand how she could see that you were annoying, honestly. However, dude, you're going into university. You're going to college. Who fucking cares? The thing that happened when you guys like had a little thing and then the thing ended abruptly, she found a dude who was honestly not going to beat around the bush and say like, "Hey, do you want to be my girlfriend? Let's make out this and that." It wasn't a thing. The dude probably made it happen. The only thing that I'm getting from this story is you're just some dude that like texts her all the time. Also, this again. So with this in mind, I went full charge for her, doing practically anything I can, and honestly, I believe that it worked. Like I was actually breaking down her artificial walls of independence because deep down I knew that her old self was there and wanting to burst out. Are you fucking kidding me? People don't want their artificial walls of independence broken down. They're not fucking artificial walls. They're literally real. No, they're, yes. Yes, they're literally brick walls of independence that people build for themselves. No, but people don't act independent just to pretend. Like, people don't pretend that they're independent. They just fucking are. They're their own human being. So there's no artificial walls to break down. You said before, she probably grew up, and faster than you did, and that's not because, women go through puberty faster than guys, it's because you're a little slow. She grew up and became her own person and decided that she wanted her own shit. She, as you said, she became more mature and independent. That's not something that you break down. That's the person that she is now. However, honestly, like I was saying, dude, you're going into university. There's going to be so many more girls that you're going to be able to text. This person's not even going to be a thing to you. It's just going to be something that you had, someone that you had a thing with at some point, and that you're going to beat yourself up over when you're 25 because you didn't make it happen. Oh well. That's what happens, You live and learn. Go to college, meet some more girls, make some new friends, and learn some new words. Stop talking about being friendzoned? So I was recently friendzoned. I am not physically attracted to this girl, but I would say I am in love with her personality. Well, I was recently rejected when I asked her out on a date. I don't really have an interest in being friends. We are around 26 years old. So is it wrong to stop being available to hang out when she wants to? Title was supposed to be Stop Talking After Being Friendzoned. No, it's not wrong to stop being available when she wants to hang out. In fact, if you are less available for this girl when she wants to hang out, she's going to want to hang out with you more. She's going to value that time that she has with you. Why did you ask a girl out if you were not physically attracted to her? I guess I'm in love with her personality. So, you guys have been hanging out because she wants to hang out sometimes, but when you asked her out on a date, you got rejected? I don't know. Find some new chicks. You're 26, dude. Need help gauging where this casual dating is going. Been seeing this girl for like 9 weeks. We talk on the phone every day and see each other at least once, sometimes twice a week depending on schedules. I know that we're more than just friends because we cuddle/kiss/hold hands on dates, which, well, I guess platonic friendships don't do. Currently, it's quite clear that we aren't in a relationship, as she'll simply say no when asked by others. This doesn't bother me because, truth be told, I have yet to even ask for exclusivity since we haven't even had sex. I do, however, feel the need to talk to her about it now to gauge where we are, how she feels about me, but I'm not quite sure how to ask. How would you ask someone where you see the relationship going without the question coming off as a request to commit? Do nothing. Don't ask her anything. Don't ask her where the relationship is going. Don't ask if we're going to be girlfriend, boyfriend. Don't ask what is this. Don't say anything. Because if she wants it to happen, she will ask you. Which leads to my other point, which is don't ask for exclusivity. You are the one that decides if you guys are exclusive or not. At least that's the mentality that you're supposed to have. You have the option to shop around for other chicks. It's gonna be her that asks for the exclusivity, right? Also, stop talking to her on the phone every day. Change it to like every other day. Because here's what's gonna happen. If you guys are talking on the phone every day, and you guys are seeing each other sometimes twice a week, and you guys are always like, cuddling and kissing on those times, she's gonna get tired of you really quick, and you're not gonna see it happening because you really like this chick. But her deal is gonna be, you guys are 9 weeks in, so you probably got another like month and a half to go until she's like, wow, this guy is really suffocating me. Maybe not even clingy. Maybe he likes to talk on the phone only for 10 minutes. But we've been talking on the phone for 2 hours every goddamn day, and then every time that we get together, he wants to like cuddle, in front of people so that he can prove that we're in a relationship. I'm not saying that about your situation. I'm just saying the point to where it can get. Just start doing other things. She's also going to realize that you don't do anything except, pine after her, which isn't attractive for her at all. You got to go out with your friends. You got to do awesome shit. You got to work on your schoolwork. You got to do well. And you got to do things that you like to do. If she finds out that you're existing only to be hanging out with her, that's not interesting to her. So cut that talk time on the phone to like every other day. And then see where it goes. Don't ask her where the relationship is going. That's not your responsibility. Out of the hook. Hey guys, I'm a 20-year man from Brazil, and I'd like to give a piece of advice for all of you. Based on my experiente with friend zones, a lot of them, and a great episode of one of my favorite series of all, HIMYM, I've come to realize that if you are in love with a friend and she knows that but she doesn't want to date you, you should just stop talking to her. It may seem immature and you may not want to stop hanging out with her because maybe you like liking her. But serious, you really should stop talking to her. If she keeps a window open like telling she doesn't want to date you right now, she is not being a good friend, she is just using you. I'm tired of being friend-zoned, and I'm pretty sure we all are. And if you just stop talking to her, or she will not give a shit, or she will crawl back to you, and then you can decide if her friendship is really importante, and you should give her another chance, or you may just never talk to her. That's up to you. Good luck, everyone, and make smart choices. P.S. Sorry for the bad writing. English is not my primary language. PS2. I hope I made myself clear. PS3. The episode that I mentioned is Hooked. HIMYM. Yeah, that read like fucking Jerry Springer's final thought. I have no fucking idea what that guy said. And I know that English is not his first language or whatever, but I mean, what are you saying? Also, you like How I Met Your Mother? Something's wrong with you. But I mean, he generally has good advice that I can't shit on, which is, I mean, sometimes girls keep you around because they know they can keep you around. I mean, even if you're crushing on them or whatever, I mean, they're not gonna end that. They're not gonna put that responsibility on themselves. And the reason I'm saying that is because he's talking about, how the girl doesn't want to date you right now, or whatever. There's not gonna be a time where she wants to date you. That time that she wants to date you is after she's done dating everyone else that she wants to date. But yeah, if you decide to stop talking to her and then she doesn't give a shit, then she wasn't a good friend. If she crawls back to you, then you have to question why she's keeping you around. Please help. I'm in hell. I'm a 20-year-old male in Illinois, and I met a gorgeous medical student who lives in Brazil online. We exchanged Skype and have been in touch for the past year. She had a boyfriend, and she told me, and I was okay with that because I saw her as a friend. Well, up until a couple months ago, I've started developing romantic feelings for her. I started learning Portuguese, guitar, etc. to try and impress her. We flirt constantly, and we've teased each other about marrying each other, and I've joked that if we meet, I'm going to steal her from her boyfriend, and she goes along with it without being offended. I know she's been dating him for a couple years, but when I asked her why she loved him, she said, "That's the $1,000,000 question." Another thing, I would joke about dating her attractive friends or sister, and she would get very jealous. She asked if I would rather hang out with her single friend or her. I said her friend because she's single. Several months later, her sister has a boyfriend too, and I say, "That's fine, every goal has a goalie." she gets jealous and asks if I have something against her because I'm showing more interest in her sister than her, even though they both have boyfriends. Anywho, I think about her all the time. We sing to each other over Skype. She says I'm the funniest guy she's ever met, and I'm totally willing to fly to Brazil to meet her as often as I can, which can be about a week for every 6 weeks. It annoys me way too much that she has a boyfriend, so I know I want her as more than a friend. So my course of action is this. I'm going to be sort of distant from her for a while, then start showering her with affection, sexually charged compliments, flirt, talk about meeting in person, etc. I'm going to do this for at most 2 more months, and then I'm giving her an ultimatum in September. Tell her how I feel, that I care about her, that I can meet her if she wants, and I want to date her. Thoughts? Or should I just sever contact now? I really care about this girl and I can't get her out of my head, so it's going to really suck not talking to her anymore, but it'll hurt less than knowing I'm flirting with and playing love songs on the guitar for a girl who doesn't care about me the same way and has sex with somebody else. Just cut it off now. I mean, that's the easiest thing that I can say. But also, 2 months is the period of time inside which you want to seal the deal, if I may say, that you want to make a move. Once you meet a girl, you have 2 months, I would say 1 month. I mean, and this is like if you guys are in school or whatever and you guys see each other a little bit, blah, blah. I'm not even talking about just meeting a girl on the street. Because if you meet a girl on the street, you got 5 minutes. But you have at most 2 months to be like, hey, I like you, we should go out on a date, blah, blah, blah. Or go for the kiss, as I would usually like to do. So, to even say that you're gonna bring up an ultimatum in 2 months after knowing her for God knows how long, a year or something like that, that's ridiculous. I mean, she knows that you have a thing for her. You're talking to her all the time. You don't talk to anyone else. I mean, yeah, you make jokes about the friends or the sister or whatever, but I mean, you're not talking to them. If you were serious about Skyping her sister, then you would have just done that. Well, and what is this thing, dude? You're trying to rip her away from her boyfriend that she sees all the time, too. The thing about, like, joking about, getting married and, stealing her from her boyfriend and that kind of thing is, like, it's all fun and games because you're over the internet. You're not real. You guys haven't met in person. Literally, I think it says in your first sentence that you guys didn't even meet in person. You met online. If you showed up in Brazil and said, hey, I'm here to steal you away from your boyfriend, let's go, what do you think she's going to say? Do you think she's going to uproot her entire life in Brazil and go live with you, some, may I say stranger that she's never really personally met before, and just go over to his home and start living with him? I mean, she might if she was trying to get her green card or something. But other than that, I mean, I can't see someone leaving, someone that they've been dating for like a couple of years for some random white dude on the internet that has picked up some hobbies for the sole purpose of impressing her. Which is cool, I may say. There's nothing wrong with learning another language and, playing instruments and that kind of thing. But when you talk about stealing her from her boyfriend, does she go along with it in like, oh yeah, I'm really excited, you should really come do this type deal? Or should you say, oh yeah, you're gonna steal me away and that's gonna be funny and this and that? Because the second one does not imply that you guys are going to have a successful and long-lasting relationship. And that goes along with anything that I would say about, oh, she just broke up with her boyfriend, or, oh, she has a boyfriend and I really like her and this and that. if you try to start a relationship by ripping someone away from a relationship that they're already in, that thing is not going to last long. That's already a guideline for rebound. And a rebound doesn't last that long. And it's definitely not a guideline for a relationship that's going to last for fucking ever. Also, you don't give ultimatums to people that you're not in a relationship with. You're going to give her an ultimatum like she better go out with you, she better break up with her boyfriend and blah blah blah, or else what? Or else you're going to stop Skyping her? Ask yourself this question. Is she going to gamble her entire life, her lifestyle, the people around her, her sister, her friends, her boyfriend, blah, blah, blah? Is she willing to gamble all of that for a random white dude on the internet? And on the flip side, if she was like, okay, let's do this, but you have to move over here, would you leave absolutely everything that you had in your home in Illinois, your friends, your school, your parents, the freedom of America, and then leave to Brazil and then start living there, and then start, I get quote unquote, dating this chick and then possibly get murdered by her boyfriend that she's already seeing? There is huge risk here on both sides. And that's kind of what makes the joking about, getting married and running away and stuff like this, like, that's what makes it a joke. And a tease, is because it's something that's never going to happen. It's nice to fantasize about, but I mean, if you really wanted to make this happen for this chick, if she really was going to run away from you, there would be a considerable advantage on your part by having a shitload of money or property or being fucking awesome or a rock star or something like that. Dude, you're a random 20-year-old dude. Go out, find other girls. There might be one Brazilian chick in Illinois somewhere. I mean, my actual advice for you in this situation, dude, is honestly to just sever contact now. What are you going to get from this? Like, you're gonna string this along for 2 more months, showering her with affection, sexually charged compliments, and flirt and talk about meeting in person like you've been doing for the past who knows how long, and then ultimately hit her with the, well, I can meet you if you want, and I want to date you, and that I care about you, and blah blah. Like, she's not gonna care. I hardly care. Maybe she's super hot. Maybe she's got a big butt. You can find a girl like that in Illinois. You can find a girl like that literally anywhere else in the world. She keeps you around because, you play guitar love songs for her like her boyfriend doesn't do. She keeps you around because you're funny like her boyfriend isn't. But she keeps her boyfriend around because he fucks her like you don't. She keeps her boyfriend around because he's serious like you're not. Ultra Friendzone. This is going to be long. Let me start off. I have been friends with this girl since 7th grade. I first met her at church. We didn't talk much. I mostly talked to her friend, but enough to say we were friends. Fast forward a couple of months, I see her at a church event. I say hi, and we started to talk. Then her grandma invited me to this week-long Christian camp. I really wanted to just say no. I was not into church that much. But then my mom gave her grandma my information and said he would love to go. A week later, the camp called and said that I was accepted into the camp. We ended up going to the camp together. We really hit it off. We stuck together most of the week. After the camp was over, we started to hang out 24/7. Like I would wake up, go to her house, and then go home around 11. We stated going to places, and the first question always asked was, "Are you guys dating?" She would shrug it off and say he's like my brother. Fast forward to 9th grade. By now we have become pretty good friends. I started to catch the feels. That year we ended up going to homecoming, but I didn't end up going with her. She just wanted me to go with her, more of a double date situation, which was cool. I ended up going with one of her other best friends. She ended up crying that night because she got her first kiss and she was waiting for marriage. Later that year, she ended up moving to Denver for a few months. We still kept in contact, me thinking she was the same Christian girl. She then came back to visit during the Christmas break. She told me how she started doing hardcore drugs and having sex, which really caught me off guard. She ended up going to rehab that following summer. She then moved back, blah, 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 ended up going to my high school. It was good in the beginning. We started hanging out a lot again. She told me how she wants me to be her man of honor. This is when I started getting hardcore friend-zoned. Then she started doing drugs again. Started with weed, which I was fine with. Then she started missing school more and more, and then got back into the acid and the coke. I know, crazy shit, but I still supported her. She started having sex with plenty of men. Then a couple of months ago, she had unprotected sex, and now she is pregnant. She told me I'm the child's godfather. Now I'm in super friend zone territory. Now I'm in the summer, about to go into 12th grade, and I don't know what to do. Should I still be friends with her, or is she keeping me back from finding a girl? I used to like her, and now I don't even know who she is anymore. I do genuinely care about her and love hanging with. I also do not wish to get with her anymore, but is it okay to just be friends? I guess. Yeah. You can be friends. Yeah. That's what I was wondering too, is like, really, she started off as a Christian and then got into hardcore drugs? What did she do? Like, she accidentally smoked a roach or something? She, like, smoked a joint for the first time and then coughed really hard. She got her first kiss and she was waiting for marriage. That's what happens, guys. That ruins the innocent women. Is the first kiss before marriage. It's all downhill from there, guys. Yeah. I went to a Christian private school for a while, for like a very short while. I don't remember too much of it, and then ended up going to the public school system, and ended up seeing one of the girls that I met there from the Christian school in the public school, and she was not a Christian girl anymore. No, she was a lot different than that. So there you go, religious parents. That's what happens. They end up going back into the acid and the coke. I know, crazy shit. Yeah. Who cares? Obviously, you're not gonna get with this girl, right? But that's not what you're concerned about. Is it okay to just be friends? Sure. I mean, if her, morality and her, code of ethics isn't going against yours, I guess it's fine. I almost thought that you were going to say that she was going to claim that you were the father of the child. That would have been fucking hilarious. And also, women don't have men of honor. They have the maid of honor. If she's trying to turn you into the maid of honor, run away. That's the friend zone if I've ever heard of one. Dude, you're going into 12th grade. Just meet other chicks. There's so many other chicks out there that are cool and not fucking crazy like this girl is. Although I can't exactly blame her. She was in a Christian school and probably was convinced by her parents to save her first kiss until marriage. And she was in 9th grade at that time. So, find someone who's not crazy. What does it mean when girls talk about how they dream of X guy? I've been wondering because this didn't annoy me until now, but recently the girl I'm dating said something along the lines of, Celebrity X is so hot, like, oh my god, my life would be complete with him. I need my children to have his genetics. In my case, we aren't officially together, but she's never rejected physical advances on my part or said no, and if she suddenly said, oh, we're just friends, I would have more than enough reason to get upset at her, leading me on after she specifically said she doesn't do that. Back to my point, I personally hate it when girls say this, and I worry it's a sign that she doesn't find me attractive enough, I guess. Put simply, though, I want to know, do girls do this as a way of saying they don't find you attractive or as a way to make you jealous? Yeah, when she says, I need my children to have his genetics, that is her lizard brain from that has been cultivated over the course of possibly a million years, saying out loud that she needs the man with the best genetics to have her children. That is her monkey brain telling you that. Now, when you get jealous over it and feel like her saying something about somebody else is a slight at you, saying that she doesn't find you attractive, that is your insecurity. That's not something that she's trying to do. At most, she's trying to check that if you're going to react to that kind of thing. If you react and say, oh, I don't like it when you talk about celebrity, about how he's hotter than me, like, of course she's gonna be like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Like, obviously, there's no way in hell that I'm actually going to get with this celebrity X, so why are you even upset about it? She's just saying that he's hot. And maybe he is. Also, what does it mean when she doesn't reject your physical advances? Like, you can hold her hand or something? Have you ever, actually tried to kiss her or actually make a real move? Because that would put you in the territory where she would tell you, oh, we're just friends. And then you would actually know if she liked you or not. I'm at a crossroads. Is it all or nothing from this moment forward? Here's my story. I met this girl a couple months back. Didn't start talking to her as much until recently. Anyway, it was me and a good friend of mine that were pursuing her. He happened to get with her before I did. All she was to him is a fuck. I actually like this chick. I'm not solo enough to care that they hooked up a few times. She went on vacation for a few weeks and I was talking to her during that time. She tells me she wants to talk when she gets back. Eventually we do. I assumed it might be about my friend. It was. She asked me since I'm so forthcoming with people and I give it to them straight no matter who it is if she should chase him. I told her no. My buddy didn't care. I even let him know right after. There was no ulterior motive, just honesty. Just honesty. 2 days later, at a club, I meet her friend. I can see that her friend is into me. It becomes a competition between the two for my attention. The girl I'm after dances on me and everything, even calls me out. I see you're cheating on me with her. she begins to sit on my lap. So I decide to give her my focus rather than the other girl. Shortly after, her ex shows up at the club. I didn't know right away, and I only found out at the moment I turned around he kisses her. She eats it up. Now it seems to be a fight for her between him and me. Obviously, I should have made my move sooner. I attempted to make my move anyway and give her a peek on the lips. She asks what I'm doing. I tell her I like her and all that shit. She says, why didn't I tell her? She then tells me that she had given me plenty of opportunities. Obviously, because she's fussing about my friend to me. Obviously, because she's fussing about my friend to me, I didn't see it that way. Looking back now, I definitely did have some opportunity, but there was always that fact of her catching feelings for someone else. I didn't feel like I was a focus. She said, let's talk about it later. I said tomorrow. We never did. This is now 2 days after the bar. She shoots me a text saying she got her answer about my friend. Sends a screenshot of him just trying to get her to come over and bang. I tell her she needs to be a big girl and decide what she wants to do. She says she won't chase someone who has no interest in her. I tell her, well, I just saw you do that with your ex who cheated on you. Maybe I too blunt with it, but I feel like I owe no apology. She was the one who wanted me to give it to her straight. I haven't since gotten a reply. I messaged her about something else later that day. No reply. We've been out of contact for the last few days now. Here's my question. What's my next step? I'm bound to see her soon because of mutual friends. When I do, should I pretend to ignore it all and act like it never happened and see where it goes? Should I shoot the girl a text and say hi? Or should I say how I feel about the whole situation, and depending on how that goes, if she's interested, ask her out. If not, cut her out completely? I refuse to be that guy who's just an emotional support beam. Bro, you were given so many chances. I mean, the part where she sits on your lap after complaining about you cheating on her friend, I mean, you gotta make your move on one of them. You gotta start making out with one of them. You got the one girl who's into you, who just met you and is now into you, so that's kind of a guarantee. That's almost like a, why wouldn't you fucking go for that? And the other part is, now the girl that kind of, friend zoned you is actually into you. Now you would go for that, wouldn't you? Even she states that you've had plenty of opportunities. Honestly, you sound like kind of a dick. 'Cause girls don't want to give it given straight to them, man. You gotta sugarcoat it just a little bit. You can't just go off and say, oh, well, you went ahead and, went after your ex who cheated on you. It's basically like slut shaming them. Like, of course they're gonna say something like, oh, well, I'm not into anyone that's not interested in me. And then when you shoot back with the, oh, yeah, right, bitch, they're gonna get mad at you for that. They're gonna think that you're a dick for that. So that's why she hasn't been talking to you. She's mad at you, obviously, for this. And you gotta remember that, those words are coming from someone who coming from her perspective, like those words, those maybe I too blunt with it words, are coming from a person that she has given, some opportunities, might have been subtle, maybe not, aka sitting on your lap, to make a move on her, and you didn't. She has put herself out there for you plenty of times. I'm sure that there were times before that, like I said, maybe a little more subtle than that one, that were more of like, maybe she waited for you to give her a kiss. Maybe she was expecting it at one point. Maybe, she at least expected you to do something. And, she put herself she made herself vulnerable for that, and you didn't do anything. You kind of just left her out there. And then he's going to turn around and say, like, oh, well, you're going to go ahead and be a slut for other guys. It's like, well, why the fuck would she want to stay around a dude like that who, first off, can't, launch his own rocket, and second off, goes ahead and, getting mad at the moon for doing it? Why didn't you then make a move on her friend? I mean, you had an opportunity to get laid here. You had an opportunity with someone. Dude, it's a competition between two chicks over your attention. That's baller. You got to keep that going for as long as possible. You got to make out with one and then make out with the other right after. Look, this girl is upset because you didn't make a move after however long. You got these options. You can let this blow over. Maybe she'll start talking to you again. Maybe you can apologize, say, hey, look, I was kind of a dick, blah. But that, I mean, the position that you're in, that's not going to help too much. I don't think that's just going to, make you look like even more of a bitch. I don't know, start dating her friend. Don't try to text her every day. Don't text her and say hi. Just, maybe let it blow over. Maybe you can just continue being a dick and ask this girl for her friend's number, since you apparently didn't ask for her number yourself. Alright, guys. That has got to be it for this edition of the Friend Zone. It was a little wonky. Honestly, I was kind of an asshole. I understand, but, I hope I gave out useful information. I hope it helped you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you later.